Hi, this is Melissa from Resilience Law in Norwell, Massachusetts, here to talk to you about chronic COVID-19 and its effect on Massachusetts state disability retirement. As people have been recovering from COVID-19, or in some cases not recovering, it's becoming clear that there are long-term lingering symptoms in a smaller percentage of the population. Many people catch COVID and feel sick to various amounts, and then they get over it and go on with their life. But it's becoming apparent that some people catch COVID-19 and then do not recover, and they're facing these long-term complications, some of which are quite severe. I was reading an article yesterday. That's what it brought it to the forefront of my mind. I'm seeing that symptoms can be, things like fatigue, shortness of breath, lingering cough, joint pain, chest pain, and these kind of things are difficult to test for or kind of prove that they're existing. But I've already heard from clients who called me and said, listen, I have this symptom from COVID. I caught COVID 6 months ago and I still can't go back to work. I've also read that there are more severe symptoms that can develop from COVID later on, including heart inflammation, lung function abnormalities, renal or acute kidney injury, as well as some less common symptoms that are not as severe, including brain fog, like you'd see in a fibromyalgia patient, depression, muscle pain, headache, and intermittent fever. So these conditions are going to be serious enough to prevent you from working, particularly if you have a very active job like you're working as a nurse or a police officer. In Massachusetts, we've accepted that some types of claims are automatically going to be granted workers' compensation for COVID-19, and that includes nurses, first responders, but there are other employees who may have caught COVID-19 from work that their claims won't automatically be accepted, and then they're going to have to fight for their workers' compensation. And that means down the line that they'll also have to fight to prove their claim for disability retirement. I definitely foresee this is going to be an issue moving forward, as these kind of lingering COVID symptoms are harder to test for unless they're extremely severe. And so I think a lot of people who are suffering from COVID are going to face an uphill battle proving that their disability is likely to be permanent. And if they're suffering from these lingering chronic COVID symptoms, that this COVID infection, first of all, was caused by work. But even if they do have a presumption or were successful in a workers' compensation claim to prove their COVID-19 was caught at work, they're going to have to prove that now these lingering symptoms were caused by COVID. And I think kind of the medical community is still getting up to speed on that. So I certainly foresee in the next year or 2 years, we're going to see a rash of new applications for disability retirement who are going to have to fight to show that this COVID that they caught at work is now what's rendering them permanently disabled from the duties of their job. If you've caught COVID, if you're dealing with chronic COVID symptoms and you're thinking about applying for disability retirement or even Massachusetts workers' comp, please contact a lawyer. The decisions that you make today may impact your choices of benefits years down the line. My name's Melissa. I'm an attorney in Norwell, Massachusetts. Give me a call if you need help with this stuff. Let's get started.